Yeah, so we have discussed up to the different conditional statement. So today we'll see a looping construct in a Verilog. So Verilog support there are four types of uh, loop similar to a C language. One is the while loop. When it's while loop, this is execute the statement or a set of statement when while condition is true, right? And for loop it is similar to the C, which have the initialization, test condition and the increment. Repeat loop, it execute this statement or a set of statement into a fixed number of time. In a while it execute for the up till condition is true, but repeat is execute the number of statement in a fixed number of times. Forever, it is execute a statement or a set of statement forever until simulation is halted, right? So it continuously execute the statement like a always without any triggering. So let's see syntax of the while loop in a Verilog. So it's start with the while keyword, and then we have to specify the condition. If the condition is true, then it execute the statement return between the begin and end. Right? Set of statement return between the begin and end. If the condition is false, then it skip this set of statement. So while loop execute while the condition is true, the condition can be consist of a logical expressions. So let's take an example. Suppose we have one jug in which its volume is up to the 100, right? Some number 100. So it is defined using some directive, defined directive. Jug volume is equal to 100. So whenever we write the jug volume, we take the value is 100. Then the module name, variable jug, and another variable is cup. So we want to fill the jug by adding cup inside it. So let initialize the jug with 0 value and cup. Each cup have the 10 milliliters. Suppose let's say it's 10 milliliters. That tea, right? So while when jug less than jug volume, so jug volume we already have defined it is a 100, right? So initialize jug it is 0, so it is less than 100. That means this condition is true. So it execute the statement return inside the while loop. So it add the cup in the jug, and it, now new value of jug will be the 10. So at the second time 10 is again less than the 100, so it add one more cup in the jug until jug size is up to the jug volume, and then after it come out from this loop. Another loop statement is for loop. So for loop here also the syntax is similar to the C. We have some starting with the initialization, then the conditional, and the last is to update or the increment by 1 or 2, whatever. Begin, and then the set of statement and the end. So let's take an example to understand the for loop. Right. So let we have initialize index 0, then we have to run up till when the index is less than 10, and want to index increment by 1, and data is equal to data plus 5. So it will run the 10 times because we are incrementing index by 1, right? So this loop it will execute for the fixed 10 times. Also we can use this index as a variable inside the loop, and we can change the value of index too. Third is the repeat loop. So in a repeat loop, repeat and the some conditional, but the conditional is some constant or some value, right? So repeat loop repeat the set of statement a fixed number of times. So that the basic difference between the while and repeat loop. So conditional can be have constant, variable, or a signal value, but must be a number, right? So it specified some number. We want to repeat the 5 times, 10 times, like that. If in a conditional, if we have x or z value, then in repeat loop treated as a 0 value. So here the count is 10. So it repeat this jug is equal to jug plus cup statement the 5 times, 10 times, sorry. So it execute the fixed number of time. Last is the forever loop. So forever statement, so forever, and then the statement which we want to execute continues, right, until simulation is halted or simulation is finished using some that available command like a dollar finish, right? So it is similar to while loop, while the condition is always true. So in the while loop, if the condition is always true, like while 1, so it is condition is always true. So it is continuously execute the statement. So forever is similar to the while of 1. Forever statement can be used with timing control to limit the execution. So like by putting the hash dollar to finish the simulation after some time by specifying the timing control. So you can see in this example, right? It's initialize the clock with the 0, and such forever statement used to generate a periodic signal. So suppose if you want to generate a clock of 100 megahertz, and let me define a one time unit is equal to 1 nanosecond, right? And if you want to generate a 100 megahertz clock, then we can use this forever as phi. Clock is equal to invert of clock. So clock is invert at every 5 nanosecond, right? So total time period of clock is equal to 10 nanosecond. It stay 5 for 5 nanosecond logic 1, and then it's invert. So for another 5 second it's a logic 0, and like that. So we can generate a clock. So forever is widely used to generate a periodic signal. So we can use like this forever as phi clock is equal to clock, invert of clock. And this can be stopped by using some dollar finish command. So it generates the this 10 megahertz or the 10 nanosecond time period clock up to the 200 nanosecond. Now we see about the task and function. So in a Verilog, it support the task as well as it also support the function. So as we know, the task is similar like a macros, or task is some group of statement. If you want to execute the multiple times, then we are defining that group of statement into a task, right? And whenever we want to execute that statement, we just calling the task. We just call the task, so it executes. So not need to write that group of statement multiple time in a program, right? So it can be separate out by writing one times, and every time just calling the task we can be use that. So and similar the function, right? Function is also similar like that. Suppose if you want to run the set of function set of some statement multiple times in a program, then defining that set of function as a set of statement as a one function, and just calling that function. So not need to write a multiple times in a program. So it reduces the length of the program. Right? Now let's see what the basic difference between the task and functions. So task and function provide the ability to execute a common procedure from the several different places in a description, as I told. Uh, They also provide the means of breaking up large procedure into a smaller ones to make it easier to read and debug the source description. Right. If we have the complex program and we can divide into the small part for too easy to understand or too easy to read, right? And if we define the each part as a one task or the function, uh, that, that's where also the task and function is useful. Input, output, and in-out arguments value can be passed into and out of the both the task and functions. So task and function can pass all the three types of arguments: input, output, and in-out. Now we'll see the basic difference between the task and function, and when to use the task and when to use a function. So function must execute in a one simulation time unit. A task can contain a time controlling statement. Task can have a time controlling statement, but inside the function that should not be allowed to use any time controlling functions. So that is one basic difference between a task and function. Another basic difference between task and function is function cannot enable a task. We remember a function cannot enable a task. So inside the function we cannot call the task, right? But the task can enable another task and functions. So inside the task we can we can call the another task or we can call the another function. So that is another main difference between a task and function. So function cannot call another task or the function, but the task can call another task as well as the function. Third basic difference of task and function is function must have at least one input argument. Function must have at least one input argument that we are passing to function, right? While task can have zero, means that if you not have any input argument, then also task can work. So task may have zero or more input arguments any time. So that the third basic difference. uh, Function must have at least one input argument or more than one. Function return a single value. Now when the execution of that group of statement which return inside the function, it come back to the main program with a returning with only single value, right? While the task not return any value. So task will not return any value to the main program, but it execute the set of statements. And if you not required any return value in main program, then we can use the task. If we want some return value in the program, then definitely we should have to use a function. So that is the fourth basic difference between the function and task in a variable. Fifth one is the purpose of function is to respond to input value by returning a single value, because function have some return value, so it respond whatever the input argument and do some functioning on that, whatever the function we want to do on that. Suppose we want to do some squaring or addition like that, so it do on that and it's return the value in the main program after the performing the function. Task can support the multiple goals and can calculate the multiple result value. Okay. However, only the output or in-out arguments pass the result value back from invocation of a task. Right. So only the output and in-out variable, if you have in the task, that can pass the value to the main program. A Verilog model uses the function as an operand in expressions. So function can be used as an operand, right? So we can assign the function to some variable. X is equal to function of y, like that. So that function of y is some group of statement written separately. So it goes to, it execute that and it return the value of y, and that whatever the function of y will assign to x. So we can use function in a Verilog as an operand in expressions. The value of that operand is the value returned by the function. So these are the difference between a task and the function. Let's see example of task. So let's first see what is the syntax of task in a Verilog. So it start with the task task. It is a reserved keyword like a module assign, like that. A task is a reserved keyword. In bracket we have to specify the name of task, and tasks may have inside a parameter value, parameter declaration, input, output, in out, res, time, right? Integer, real, event, any task body. So task body may have anything, whatever in a module, everything we can write inside the task, and end with the end task. So there is no any return value in the main program. But so a clock generator, let's say input, this clock gen, it is a name of task. Input integer, clock period, begin. Let here this task is to generate a clock, right? Clock generator, it is a name given of this task, and function of this task too, we want to generate a clock periodic signal for a testing of any synchronous DJ. So begin, let's initialize clock equal to 0, and then using the forever to generate a clock. So delay is clock period by 2. So for one clock period by 2, it's a logic 1, and for another clock period by 2, clock will be the logic 0. So total time period, it is equal to a clock period, whatever the clock period we have defined, and end task. So so when we call a clock generate task, it generate a periodic signal clock. Right? Let's see example of function. So function, and then the range or type, right? And the name of function, and the body of function, whatever we want to perform, and the end with the end function. So here you can see in this example, to add the two data. So this function is to want to add the two data 1 and data 2. So function, and the type is integer. This add a number, it is a number, so type is in an integer, and it's have a two input data 1 and data 2. Begin, and assign the data 1 in plus data 2 into add. So add is the name of function, so also it can be used as an operand. So you can assign to add and end functions. Right? So it pass this value of add, that if you want to pass that, also it can pass to the main program. We can use that after the addition of data 1 and data 2, what will be the value of add, and from that, if you want to do some further processing in a main program, we can do it. So that is about the functions. Calling a task and function, let's take one example in which it call a task as well as the functions. So it can be more differentiate, you will see in this program between the task and function, and clear the idea how to call the task and how to call the function, and when to use the task and when to use the function. So module, task, function, test, program, integer, data underscore type. Now here you can see after the begin, this is the calling of the task name and the task parameters, right? So it called one task, whatever the name of task is task name, with passing the task parameters, right? So this parameter is passed into a task wherever the task is written, and on that parameter it do some perform on process, right? And here you can see in the second statement, it is a calling of a functions, right? So here function, it is used in an operand, as an operand, right? So whatever this data type is equal to function name, and by passing the function parameter, right? So once it return the function name, that means it is calling the function, and after the education uh, executing the function, right, it come back with some return value, and whatever this answer, suppose it have some answer is 25, then it assigned the 25 to the data type, right? So we can use the function as an operand, but task we cannot use as an operand. So here also you can see assign function value is equal to function name the parameter. So whatever this back value from the function, whatever the return value of the function, it will assign to the function value. So here it is assigned using the blocking assignment inside this initial procedural block, as well as we can assign to the using a continuous assignment statement. So we can use in either in a that is in a uh, behavior abstraction level, as well as in a data flow abstraction level. So that's about task and function. Now we'll see this we already have seen. Let me have a quickly go through it. Implementation of this adder using all the three abstraction level. So this is the logic which we want to implement, right? And let me see how it can implement use structural model, means the gate level abstraction model, right? So this is the implementation of the gate level abstraction model, and we already know it how gate level implementation model. Same thing can be implemented using data flow, either using this mathematical operation, or also directly we can use a boolean equation instead of that, right? So in both the way we can assign, we can use the assign, which is the continuously assignment in a data flow architecture model. Third is using the behavioral model, right? So in behavioral model we have to uh, 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 we have to use any procedural statements. If you want to run the continuously, then it is an always procedure, or we want to assign some initialize some data value, then it can be initialized using the initialize procedural statement, right? So it's have the always, and whenever the triggering in input 1, input 2, or C in, we want to find out the new output, right? So it is returned inside the as a event trigger inside the sensitivity list, and it will, whenever having the change in input 1, input 2, or scene, it will calculate the new output, right, by running these two statement in a sequence, because here it is a blocking assignment. So it first run the sum, and then it will run the count, because of it is inside the always it is returned in a blocking assignment statement. Both the statement run in a zero simulation time, but run in this sequence, right? And the output we have to define explicitly using the range type, because by default input and output in a Verilog it is an wire type, right? If you not define, just we have declared the port either input type and output type, and if you not define in1, in2, C in, sum, and C out, then by default all this work as a wire type. All are by default is a wire, right? And if we want to declare as a res, then we need to be explicitly declare, otherwise it will work as a wire type. Let's see another example, and let me implement using the all the three abstraction level 4x1 multiplexers. So using the structural or gate level abstraction model, it's can use directly the invert and AND for that, right? Directly gate primitive to implement this gate level abstraction model. In a data flow, here also we can use, here it is used Boolean equations, right, to assign to output. So assign is a continuously assignment statement in a data flow. In a behavioral implementations, we need to see the output, which is output we need to be declared as a range, and then it is inside the always all the input, right? and here it is implemented using the case statement. So it have the control 1 and control 2, and it's have a 4 possible combination of control 1 and control 2. According it will assign the output it is equal to different input. Right. So, and if we want to instantiating the module or structuring the hierarchy types of design, then it's also have similar like that. We can use that instant in the lowest module to construct the complex design. We can use like that. Not need to be declared like in a VHDL we need to declare the component, but here we not need to declare the component. Directly we can use. So what it is like a MATLAB programming, right? So when we have MATLAB program, whatever we write the .m file, then .m file work as a function. So similarly in a Verilog also, whatever we have saved the .v file, later on we can use that .v file as a function, right? So once we have the 1-bit full adder, then that 1-bit full adder work as a function, we can directly use that as an instantiating the inside the module. But we do not have instantiate the module inside the another module, right? But inside the module we can we can call the another module, but we cannot define the another module inside the module. To prepare this PPT, I will use the reference Verilog HDL by the Samir Palnikar. It is a very good book, and in this book it's given a Verilog as well as a synthesis. Right? Both the part is given in this book. I will upload in MS Team for your reference. You can download from there. Also, I'll upload all our reference book. I have a soft copy of all the 7 reference book which is given in our syllabus. So also you can use, you can download from MS Team itself. Not need to find out anywhere. Yes, any questions? Any questions related to Verilog? So what is the important about the Verilog I have covered in this few lecture, right? So if you have any questions, you can ask. Otherwise, we'll start our theory, which is on about the testing. Yes, am I audible?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Okay. So that means you do not have any questions.